All right, my good friends, welcome back to another live event. Hello, my name is Jader Salazar. This is Black Label Closers. And every Tuesday and Thursday, we have a live event at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So choose your time zone and be here with us. We are going to have fun tonight. We have a ton of things that I want to talk to you. But first, let me give you some information. Besides the live events that we have, you can also join school.com, look for Black Label Closers, become part of the community. That's SKOOL.com, right? You can sign up for our free course. And we also, if you want to be a lot more aggressive than that, we have a $97 course, value at more than $1,000. But I want to make sure I give you guys all the value that I can, all right? So don't forget to join the school community and ask questions there, okay? That's going to be your validation every time. If you have the free course and you decide to purchase the $97 course or invest in the $97 course, you can drop your questions there. I'll be expeditious to answer those questions. All right, guys. I'm really glad you're here. All right. So here are the topics today. All right. This is going to be really fun, guys. So we're going to talk about how to hear what's being said, but also what's in between the lines. So what's being said and what's not being said, right? The devil is in the details. And most people, well, I'll talk about that, but most people will say a lot more with what they're not saying than with what they're saying, right? What to say when somebody says, I need to think about it, all right? All right, we're going to go all over the place with that one. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the 3 emotional triggers to close deals fast. If you see me going up and down, it's because I'm reading. I'm reading the order of things that I have to. My memory is shut. My memory is not good. It's not there. All right. And we're going to talk about all the bullet points to go inside those, the 3 emotional triggers. All right. So let's start right away with how to hear what's being said. There are things that exceptional salespeople do that average salespeople don't do. And this is one of them, guys. Hearing the things that they're not telling you. So if you're on the phone with someone, you're going to start reading level of interest of that person. And there are 3 types of people that you're going to contact. Doesn't matter that they submitted their information, their first, last name, phone number. They probably even purchased an upfront product. You are still going to get 3 types of people: curious, interested, and serious. What is the difference between those 3? Curiosity is just for people that have nothing else to do, nothing else better to do. So they go online and they hear something that sounds flashy and they put their name and phone number in, and then they want to talk to you just because they have to fill in the blanks, right? Those people are very far away from ever making any type of decision, right? To take a risk, right? So you don't want to talk to those people, and you have to be quick at disqualifying those people, right? And inside the course, of course, we're going to talk about how we do that. I'm going to give you some pointers here, but inside the course, of course, I have more time there to be able to explain all these things. So then you have the interested people. Interested people are genuinely interested in, say, for instance, if you have an investing opportunity, a mentorship program that helps people and teaches people on how to invest in various things, right? Interested people are attracted to that possibility. They've thought about it, they've fantasies about it, they dream about it, but they're interested. They're not quite sure if they should go that route, right? They have a little bit of, they can be safe if you push them, if you push the right buttons. You can help them become serious. You cannot have someone decide to invest 10,000, 5,000, 20,000, 25,000, $30,000 if they're just interested. All right. Someone who's interested in making money will never make any money. Right. It's like someone who chases money. I'm a money chaser. Well, are you catching the money? Tell me you're a money catcher, but don't tell me you're a money chaser. That doesn't tell me anything, right? Interested people are money chasers. They just chase opportunities, but they never concretely decide to do anything for sure. Do me a favor, go ahead and say hi if you come in. Sometimes it takes a little bit of traction, a little bit of time it takes for people to start coming in. We have Venture to Excel. How are you, Venture to Excel? Thank you for being here. I'm sure more searches here. Other people haven't said hi, and I cannot read their names, but we'll say hi as soon as they say hi to me, right? So, serious people. So here's the reason why last time, Yoey, how are you? Thank you for saying hi. All right. Last time we talked about people. Do we need to give, if you're a setter, right? Even if you're a closer, when is the relevant time to give people technical information? At the very end, I told you out of the entire presentation, if we break it into percentages, 20% is going to be technicals, 80% is going to be the psychology of the process. It's like everything. When you want to be successful at something, 20% is technicals, 80% is psychological. You got to be all in psychologically speaking. So I have closed deals for $10,000 and higher without ever talking about the technicals. Here's the reason why, guys. And I mentioned this example before. When I'm serious, when I decided to go to do a master's degree in political science, I didn't have to be pitched. Nobody came and said, "Hey, you should go for political science because political science is such an awesome major. You're going to be able to learn about politics, and you're going to be able to learn about archaeology, and you're going to be able to learn about this and the different philosophies and economics and socioeconomics and political issues in the different countries." No one had to ever tell me that. I knew I wanted to have a degree in political science. So when someone wants to make money, I don't have to convince them. I don't have to tell them anything. They know they want to be here financially when they're here financially. And they so desperately want to climb the ladder that all you have to do, all they're concerned is, are you the right people to help me? Are you going to be honest enough and transparent to give me the right information for me to close the gap? That's all. That's when someone is serious. That's why when people talk about the secret, what's the secret to make it? There's no secret. Successful people didn't have any secret. They just did exceptional things. Exceptional people accomplish exceptional goals. Right? That's why you, in the way I'm talking to you right now, or explaining to you how to talk to your customers, the way you should take this in as well. All right. You want to make exceptional income. You have to make execute exceptional moves. Right. You can't just. It's great that you come to the webinar, right? The live webinar. That's awesome. But I got to be honest with you. This is not going to make you money. Execution, signing up for the courses, studying, asking questions, training, role playing. That's what's going to create enough momentum for you to be able to move to the next level. Otherwise, we're just going to be perpetually here having a great discussion, and I'm going to be explaining all these points, but you're not going to be able to move because you are not acting exceptionally. So I want you to be exceptional, and you have to execute, guys. Don't worry about failure. Failure is part of the game, right? And what's failure in sales sometimes is going to take you a little bit of traction to learn exactly how to behave on the phone or on video or on the sales call. It's just part of the game. So the reason why we only going back to the subject at hand, the reason why we wait for the technical information is because first of all, number one, if we do the technicals up front, you divulge all the information that they care about, and now we don't have time to think about or talk about if this is really good for that person. And most likely, these people, the most of these people are not going to sign up, right? So you have to get people through the psychology of this first, because if it doesn't work for them or for the person who's mentoring these people, then it's not going to work out to make them make a payment or an investment, because it's not. We do not want to work with people that do not have what it takes to make things happen. Um, and of course, that's something that you cannot control. If somebody pays $20,000 and they decide they're not going to learn anything, that's their decision. But the services are going to be rendered one way or another, right? If you're working for the right company, right? So, what does this have to do with listening to what is being said and what is not being said? So when you have someone in front of you, whether it's on the phone, and the phone is a little bit of a special case, and I'm going to talk about the phone in a little bit more of a special scenario or situation. But in any of these, you need to start hearing the tonality of your prospect, right? If your prospect keeps giving you short answers, if they keep giving you answers that are not very thought through, then we automatically will assume this person is not 100% with me here. And I have to sort out, is it because he doesn't like me or she doesn't like me? Is it because they're just protecting themselves? Or is it because they just don't care? They're really not really into this because they just don't care about this. So what do we do at that point? For instance, before I give you the solution, if I'm on the phone, let's say it's the first time I contact somebody and they're driving, they're going to have to make decisions, especially guys. We can only do one thing at a time. I don't care if you're a guy and you're driving, you have your Bluetooth on, and you tell me, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to be driving. I have my Bluetooth. I'm going to tell that person, I understand. I understand you're a pretty smart guy, but I'm going to have to ask you to write some things down. And while you drive, you're not going to be able to do me a favor. Just pull over for a few minutes so we can have the conversation. If I have the confidence, trust me, I always get people to pull over. I'm not going to be pitching people while they're driving. There's no way. I don't care if it's a woman, because women typically can have, do multi. I've seen my wife can talk to me and write things down from things that she's reading. So she's practically doing 3 things at the same time. But I don't care. I don't care, because, and if they say don't worry about it, I'll just, why don't you text it to me? That's another one, right? Oh, you can text it to me. This is what I'm going to tell them. Listen, we're very responsible with how we approach this. Number one, this is a business call, so it should be a conversation that we have on the go. And number two, there is no way I'm going to jeopardize your life having you listen to this, sort out traffic, and have an accident. I'm just not going to do that. I'll be more than willing to call you back if you cannot pull over. How long are you before you can be at a desk in a quiet place? That would be the second option for me, right? Because I want to make sure they are there in the conversation. If I'm giving 100% of that to that conversation, I want people to give 100% to what I'm saying. Otherwise, how do I expect people to understand what I'm doing if I can express myself? If they have their TV too loud, If they are in the rest, you have to start listening to what's going on outside the conversation in the phone. What's going on when you have your headsets on? What's going on when someone is side talking at the same time that they're supposed to be listening to you? No respect, man. You got to tell them. What I do is, if they have the audacity to just have a conversation simultaneously, what I do is I tell them, listen, I'm sorry, did I catch it a good time? No, no, this is a good time. No, I just want to make sure because I know you're side talking. It's probably important. But I want to make sure that because you scheduled this conversation. So I want to make sure I give you the courtesy to give you all the information that we need to go through. If this is not a good time, I can call you back. Simple as that. Somebody's going to have a side conversation while they're talking to you, and you let it fly or let it slide. Trust me, they're going to keep doing it, and you're not going to be able to recover from that, and they're not going to understand what you're expecting them to do, right? So you got to be on top of that. Sometimes you can't help if the person never scheduled a call, and she's a mom of two kids that are toddlers, twins, and they start, being babies and crying and screaming. Ask her what's a better time for you to call back, and make sure that she remembers you. Tell her, please remember me. Don't make me call you back and you don't remember who I am or if I was going to give you a call. Right? Make sure you always hold them down like that. That's called posturing, and it's also simultaneously building rapport. Remember, rapport without posture is just being somebody's friend, right? My friends call me and they say they're going to call me back, and they call me back. If I answer, I answer. If I'm in the bathroom and I probably don't even call them back. I mean, not because I don't respect my friends, but it's just they're my friends. They're like family to me. They'll understand. Same thing. They do the same thing to me, right? Sometimes I can't answer when they tell me to give them a call back. So when you become somebody's friend, that's the treatment you're going to get, right? Posture without rapport is just being rude. I always say that. Think about that because that makes sense. We've got some people here. We're going to say hi. All right. So we got Rose. Thank you, Rose, for showing up. Rose Prada. I really appreciate it. Marco, you're here. Mars is here. Paul is here. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. Awesome. That is fantastic that you guys are here, sharing, hearing, taking notes. That's really, really supportive. I really appreciate it. Okay, so be on top. And in one of these trainings, I'm gonna talk about how to keep selling even when you hang up the phone. Nobody's teaching you that stuff. I guarantee you, no one is. No one is. This is proprietary. Okay, the second issue that we have here, or topic that we hear, is what to say when they say, I need to think about it. I don't want to get you used to thinking that you have these one-liners that you can just throw at people, because now you're going to sound robotic, mechanical, and that's not the point. Somebody says, I want to think about it, right? This is typically for the closer. For two reasons. Either you didn't do many things before that led to this person still have doubts, or the person just has the habit of getting to that point where they think about it. What I say to people like this is, I don't just throw a line back to them. I don't just throw a rebuttal. What I say is, you got to think about why. No, I'm going to think about this. Like, how do you think about things? Take me through the process. So you're going to think about this. How do you think about the process? Well, I analyzed what I wrote down. Said, do you know that the brain, after 20 minutes, forgets 80% of everything? Even if you write it down, you couldn't place what you wrote down in your memory because it's all gone. And you're going to be left with 20%. And what's that 20%? Is the $15,000 that I'm asking. That's what's going to come up in your mind when you think about it. Now, let me ask you this question. Aren't you tired of thinking about it? because you've been thinking about being in a better financial life, being able to secure your family's future. And how much money have you made thinking about this? You're taking the risk so that this makes less sense tomorrow when you only think about is the 15,000 or 20,000 or $10,000. It's time to stop thinking about it. It's time to take risk. Risk is not going to go away because you think about it. Oh yeah, but I can make an assessment of risk. In what? I mean, other people are making money with real estate, whatever it is that you're selling. Other human beings are making money with this. The principle of this company is a wealthy person doing this very thing you're about to learn. So what makes you think that your risk is going to be any different than anybody else's risk that's already gone through the risk, taken the risk, assessed the risk, conquered the risk, and make money? Believe me, something that looks hard, the more you do it, it becomes less hard. And it becomes easier to the point that's going to become second nature. You're just wasting time. I guarantee you, if you think about it, you are going to take yourself out of the opportunity. That conversation is what makes that make sense. At some point, and this is when you're a little seasoned, and I'm not talking about years, but how many times you get on the phone, you're going to start seeing certain type of individuals that really need that extra time. But don't be too flexible about that, right? Don't be that flexible in that regard, because it's going to kill your deals, right? Yeah, that's the big one. I need to think about it. How much money do you make thinking about it? How much money can people make thinking about things? What's the progress? Where's the sense of that, right? Thinking of anything doesn't make it better. It's not going to look better because you think about it. You are not a factor that alters the benefit of an opportunity. The opportunity is beneficial because it's been created to offer a benefit. Your input of thinking does not make a difference. So this is not going to make a difference for you. It's now or never. All right. This is one thing. Procrastination. And talk about procrastination. One of the things that I do way before I get to the end is I have a section that I talk about procrastination, and I make them say it. I ask them, what do you think about procrastination? And people trash procrastination. They trash it. They know there's a problem. They know it's negative. They know it's counterproductive. So when they use all those words, I'm going to use those words against them. But didn't you say that procrastination is probably one of the biggest killers of people on earth? Didn't you say that? Yes. So what do you think you're doing right now? You're killing your opportunity again. How many times? Talk about how many times they procrastinated in the past, and because they procrastinated, they're not seeing the results at whatever point in life they're at. All right, that's important, guys. All right, so very, very important that you guys do that. All right, the 3 emotional triggers to close deals fast. Now, be careful with the word fast. Efficient, right? Be efficient. Don't be fast. Be efficient. Sometimes when you're too fast, you crash, right? Be efficient. I remember last Tuesday, I said something that I always take. I don't want to say pride, but all right, let's say pride. At the fact that I take my time with my prospects, with my potential buyers. One, because I care about them. I want them to understand everything A to Z. And what A consists of, and B and C, and subsequently all the letters of the alphabet. But one of the things that I make sure is that I take time, and some people are faster than me, but you go and look at the refund rates. In their refund rate, I had this conversation with a coworker, I don't know, 25 years ago when I started doing this. And he was, oh, I don't know why you're taking that long. I'm like, oh, okay. So we were making about the same money. And then we looked at the refund rate. He was at a 10% refund. I was at a 1% refund rate because I make sure that people felt like, and we were making close to about the same amount of money every week. And he had more refunds than I had. I was at 1%. And you gotta get one thing that you hate is having to refund your commissions because they pay you for it and they withdraw that money back as a refund. Then you have to pay it back. They have to deduct it from the next paycheck. You can make arrangements sometimes and tell your boss, hey, can we do 50% here and there and whatever. But it's never, because if you make $7,000 in one single week, but you had to give back $5,000 worth of refunds, then your week is only worth $2,000, right? So you got to be careful with that, right? All right. So 3 emotional triggers to close deals efficiently. The first one is called status or identity. So people are willing to pay to invest in the possibility of becoming something they always wanted to become, right? They think of being financially independent, having a comfortable life. They think of having their families in a good situation, well-to-do situation where they can pay for any college, sweet 16s, trips, vacation with the family. That's status. That's identity, right? So basically, if you believe that you will change your life, let's say you're selling financial coaching for investors, real estate investors. One of the things that you have to understand is, or the prospect has to understand, is that now that they have identified themselves something that they're not in relationship to the future, now they cannot do without the product or service that you're offering. Now, this program is part of your identity. It's not that you have the option to invest in the program because this program is part of your identity. All right. So very, very important that you guys understand that. The second point, I want to make sure I'm not running too fast. The second point is the acronym is FOMO, FOMO, and stands for fear of missing out. The fear of missing out, FOMO, right? So here's what's interesting about the brain. So the brain is more preoccupied with the things that it loses than with the new probabilities, with something new, right? So if you put it in terms, same example, you're selling a financial coaching program in real estate investing, and you articulate how much money they're losing. How much money do you want to make? I want to make $500,000 in real estate. Okay. So do you understand that every year that passes, someone is getting a hold of the $500,000 that you're losing because you haven't made any decision in the past 5 years that you've been thinking about this? Do you understand? So if you add how many years have passed vis-a-vis the money that you want to make, we're talking about $2 million that you have not made, that you've left on the table just because you're procrastinating. That sounds a lot more effective than saying in the next 2 years, you're not going to make $2 million because we're giving them a reality check. Now it's about reality. It's the past that you could have made a decision, but since you didn't make changes, you're still in the same boat, making the same $70,000, and you're missing out on $2 million or $500,000 every year. Are you willing to keep losing money just because you're not willing to make changes. And that is a big punch in the gut. All right. People are going to feel that. And your job is, this is the reason why it's so important, guys. The example I gave you the other day, if I want to sell this watch to you, you can see it. If you're in front of me, you can touch it, you can weigh it, you can look at it if you like the colors, whatever. But this, what I'm telling you, it's about filling in the void. People are missing something that when they realize they don't have, now they can quantify that in a dollar amount or quantify that in whatever terms they decide to quantify that with, which turns out to be very important for them, right? So I want you to understand how important it is to make them feel the void of what they don't have, the lack of what they don't have. Because people are very comfortable. That's what they call the comfort zone, which there's nothing comfortable about the comfort zone, is if they don't understand that they're missing out on opportunities, they're not going to talk about it. They're not going to think about it. They're not going to meditate. They're not going to converse about it, right? So we need to make sure that we have all these things in place, all right? So very important for you guys to understand that. The next point is certainty, all right? Certainty. The certainty, and this is where you as a closer, as a setter come into play. And you have to be very responsible in the way you do this because you're going to be the expert. And the way you you portray that, and I don't want to call it character because I hope you're the expert in the product you're selling in the process. I want you to be more the expert in the process than in the product. But the product is important if you're a closer, right? Because they will rely on your opinion for them to feel assured and feel that you have something unique, right? I know exactly where you have been, where you are, and where you're going to be in the future, whether you decide to turn this down or challenge yourself and take this opportunity. I know what's going to happen. I know what's happened in the past. I've been in this industry for this long, and I've talked to this many. One thing is, if you just make it to, if you're coming into this industry, right, and you have a couple of months, you can use the experience of the company to express this fact, right? You can say, we've been around for 10 years dealing with people like you. I know where you are, I know where you've been, and I know where you're going to be either if you turn this down or if you make this your challenge and decide to execute. I know the outcome because I know your story. I've heard it from other people. We've been exposed to your story. We've been the recipient of your story because we're humans like you as well. I mean, make a conversation where they can identify with you as well. That's very important, guys, right? So keep that in mind. That's very important for the process, okay? Let me express something that I think is important for the process as well. When you're setting a deal, if you're the setter, now remember, again, I know you guys are probably tired with me doing this. If there are two parts of the sale, setter, closer, remember, I don't train people to set appointments. I train people to set deals, right? So there's a setter, there's a closer. If you're doing the set and the close alone, that's called an intra-close, right? Because you're doing both. And I've done that probably a lot, right? So if you're the setter and the closer, if you guys don't have a good communication system, the closer is not going to be able to pick up where you left. So you guys have to work in a symbiotic system where whatever the setter understands, the closer has to understand, because there is one prospect and there are two people in that process helping that prospect in the process. So your communication has to be one of a kind, right? Write as much information as you can, but not just the technical information from the prospect, but also what you think about the prospect. For instance, pick up on little habits that the prospect has. Sometimes prospects they have to be a little, say, reprehended, right? Especially when they have the habit of on the phone and quickly saying something to their kid or their wife, and you correct them, right? As a setter, I hope that you're going to be doing that, right? You can tell them, hey, listen, I know you're a little bit busy. If you want me to call you, I already explained that. But sometimes it's not even about side conversation. It's just about quick things that, especially moms, do. They're on the phone and they say, hey, go over there. That one time, that's fine. But if they keep doing it a lot, you gotta call them out. You gotta tell them, listen, do me a favor. Is there any way we can go to a quiet place? Can somebody else quickly watch your kid, or if you have an older kid that can watch over the baby or whatever, make them go to another room, right? And you communicate that to the closer. You tell the closer, listen, she has the habit of talking quickly to the toddler, giving orders to the toddler or to her kids. Let her know. And as a setter, what I would do is at the end of the call, when I set the appointment with the closer, at the end, what I would do is I would say, hey, do me a favor. Can you find a babysitter? Oh, babysitter. I wasn't thinking about that. My kids are like 10 and 9. They can behave. Oh, the reason why I'm asking is while we're having this conversation, it's probably not going to be as important as the second conversation you're going to have with the senior director, the closer, right? And what I want to make sure is because you're going to be talking to the expert, this guy's time is precious and your time is as well. And if, for this to make sense, you need to understand this 100%. So if you're gonna have quick, conversations on the side, this is probably going to affect the conversation you're going to have with the senior director. Let the senior director know. The closer, let him know. I already talked to her. I already warned her, but she's a mom, and sometimes they slip. So make sure that you capture it quickly. That's important information. Other habits that people have are talking for a long time, guys. Oh, gee, a lot of people love to just extend themselves. Here's what I do. And if you're a setter, tell the closer he loves to talk for a long time. So you got to get, you have to control it. So here's what I do. When I hear someone, I give them a pass the first time, right? Not for a very long time, but I let them have the floor for a little bit. But if they do it again, and I know it's a habit, so here's what I do. It's a lot of these people, they go on a long spiel on things that are not even relevant. And it's really annoying because you're there for a purpose and they start. That's one very quick way to lose control. If someone starts talking about, oh, my cousin did this and he went through a divorce, and then and a lot of people do that, believe it or not. A lot of people do that. Why are you talking to me about your cousin? Right? This is not a conversation relevant to that. So you're not going to you're not going to be that rude, right? I know about posturing, but this would be posturing somebody. This would be very rude just to say, why are you talking to me about your cousin? So what I do is I wait for them to say something sensible. Like if they say, my cousin got a divorce and she had to hire an attorney. Once they say attorney, I say, oh yeah, attorneys. I interrupt. I pick up where they left with the word attorney because they were going to continue with that. And I say attorneys. Attorneys are a very important tool in the real estate investing industry. So I want to make sure that you understand we can give you a lot of contacts, and my senior director is going to talk to you about that. But let me go back to here. Let me ask you this question, and boom, I get him back. Right. So when they go on a long spiel, grab something they say that sounds technical, make it yours, and take control. Take control back from that person, because that can hurt your entire process, guys. It's really annoying when you find yourself in that scenario, right? Um, you know what? Today's live is going to be, let's see what's going on here with my peeps. Okay. Awesome. Any question, guys? Anything that you guys want to ask? I always ask if you guys have questions and nobody asks. I know we're new to each other, but we can. All right. All right. All right. All right. I know somebody's asking a question right now. Okay. All right. Well, somebody's typing up a question. So, guys, remember, my name is Jader Salazar. I am the founder of Black Label Closers. For 22, 20, I keep saying 22. It's more like 24 years. I've been in this industry. I've owned 3 companies. My biggest company was the fastest growing company in the state of Utah by the Chamber of Commerce, 3 years consecutively. Right. I've trained over 3,000 people. 3,000 people. That was funny. 3,000 people. And I've helped more than 15 companies reach their potential in this business, train their teams, train even the principals because they love to learn how this cell is made. Also, guys, you can come to this live training webinars every Tuesday and Thursday. A lot of good information, guys. Take it from me. I've been in this industry for 22 years, 24 years, and I can give you a lot of information. You guys will get the best information. I can cut corners, help you expedite the process that you have in this business. Also, you can sign up for our community on Skool, SKOOL.com. You can become part of the community. Go there, look for Black Label Closers, join the community. Let's start having conversations. And you can sign up for our free course. And then you can sign up for our $97 course. And you can use the community to ask questions. I'm going to be answering questions. Any question you have, boom, you drop it there. I answer the question. All right. So it is very important for you guys if you want to progress in this industry. A lot of jobs are about to go poof. A lot of jobs. Trust me. A lot of jobs. If you're a graphic designer, most likely, and I know that some people can transition. They find a way to be able to transition. But honestly, it's going to be one of the fields: editors, content creators, truck drivers. All these self-driven trucks are going to start popping. They're already happening, right? So you got to find your way. You can't be caught when the tide is receding. Don't show up naked to the party, all right? Start learning a trade. Start learning something that's going to benefit you and your family, because this is not something that's going to be just yield to AI. This is something that, especially when you are being held by a salesperson in a ticket that's more than $5,000, I don't want some robot to do it. So people are going to reject that, and we're going to stay relevant. This is a $50 billion a year industry. Within the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to grow to $250 billion. So from $50 billion to $250 billion, it's just going to be a huge, huge leap. And people are going to be purchasing and investing into courses instead of investing into college. Who's going to sell these people education? We are, all right? And this is the right time to start. So get your feet wet, start making a difference, learn this trade by the time, all those opportunities, and you can start writing your own ticket as well, all right? So this is food for thought. Don't think about it too long, because thinking about something does not make you money. It does not make you money. Execution is everything. You have failures in life. So what? So what? It's part of the game. If you're afraid to have fail, people that do not fail have never tried anything in their lives. And if you notice, they got nothing. All right. So this is my advice to you. Be risky. Don't be dumb when you take risk, but take risk. It is important for life. It's important for your mind health and health, the health of your mind. It's important for your physical health. You need to take risk. We live in a highly competitive world, and it's about to get even tighter. All right. All right, guys. A pleasure for being here. Thank you very much for being with me. I'm going to say hi to these guys again. Venture to Excel, Yoey, Rose, Marco, Mars, Paula. Thank you very much for coming, guys. Jaden Salazar, Black Label here. Come to our community. Let's meet here with Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.